So I was going to start standing, but I think we're going to start seated. We'll start with the knees on the mat. And then the tops of the feet are down on the mat as well. So just stretching out the ankles a little bit. And then sit tall in the spine, lift the shoulders up and back. Starting in a little bit of Vajrasana. And then we're just going to start with 3 rounds of breath. So keeping the chest open, lifting the head up straight towards the ceiling, lifting all the way up through the crown of the head. Let's inhale. Open the mouth and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And then starting with bringing the hands down in front of you. And just think about having the wrist directly under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And we're going to start with 3 rounds of cat and cow and move into some simple twists. So on the inhale, drop your belly down towards the mat, towards the floor. And then on the exhale, you're going to curl the upper back up towards the ceiling. We'll do that a couple more times. So inhale, dropping the belly, pull your chest forward and your gaze is forward. Exhale, curling the back. Chin comes to your chest. Inhale. And exhale. And last time, inhale. And exhale. And then we're coming back to table, to our neutral position. So we're going to start with some twists. So extend that right foot out behind you. The ball of the foot is still on the mat. And then begin to engage your core. So think about bringing your navel closer to your spine. But you don't want to suck in air while you're doing that. You don't want to hold it in. Just suck in your core a little bit so that you can breathe as well. Press into that back foot. Lift that leg up in line with your hip. So we're not going all the way up, just in line with the hip. And then cross your right foot over your left leg. And then bring the ball of the foot back down to the mat. And then for our little twist or our side bend, start to bring your gaze over towards that right foot. So you're bringing your gaze over to the left. Inhale. And exhale. And then we'll slowly rewind, bringing that right leg back up behind you. And then bringing the knee back down. We'll do the same on the other side. So extending the left foot behind you this time. Ball of the foot is still on the mat. Coming into that same core engagement. And then press into the back foot to activate the hamstring. Lift that leg up in line with the hip. Again, not coming all the way up, just in line with the hip. And then we're crossing that left foot over the right leg. So the ball of the left foot comes down to the right side. It may be off of your mat a little bit. And then for this side bend, just bringing your gaze over to the right. and rewind. So lifting that left leg back up behind you, and then bringing the knee down. And then we're just going to take a child's pose for 2 breaths. So you can bring your knees out as wide as your mat. Bring your big toes to touch behind you. Send your hips back towards your heels and reach your arms in front of you. And then you can allow the head to rest on your mat and just take 2 full breaths. And then we'll come back up onto hands and knees, back to table pose. So we're gonna set up for downward facing dog, tucking the toes under, and then you're gonna lift the knees and the hips up and back. Reach your heels down towards the mat. Let your head hang between your arms. Take a full breath. And then start to walk your hands back towards your feet. So we're coming to a forward fold at the back of your mat. You can always have the knees bent in your forward fold. Just depends on how your hamstrings feel today. Just take a moment to let the upper body sway from side to side, if that feels good in your forward fold. And then coming back to the center. And then we're just going to start to roll up through the spine as we come up to stand. Coming back to Tadasana, mountain pose. So like I said earlier, we'll be doing some walking balances. The first is going to be just simple. And I got this from my yoga teacher, the one that I trained under. I took this concept and ran with it in all my classes. So this is what I love to do. So thanks, Samantha Harrison Yoga. So we are going to start in mountain pose. So lift your toes and then make sure the ball is down, the heel is down, and lift the arch just slightly. And then gently replace the toes back down to the mat. Palms out to your side, palms open. Shoulders up and back. Inhale and exhale. And then we're just going to start by simply shifting your weight into your left foot. So left foot is planted into the mat. And then we're just going to lift that right knee up. And you can kind of have the right foot flexed if that helps you balance a little better. We're just going to hold it for maybe 1 or 2 breaths. And then extend that foot out for another breath. And then step forward. It doesn't have to be a big step, just a regular step. And then come onto the ball of that left foot. We're shifting that weight into the right foot this time. And then we're gonna lift the left knee this time, holding for a breath or 2. And then extend that left foot forward for another breath. And then step forward, another regular step forward. We're gonna do that 2 more times, 1 on each side. So lifting the right knee up, holding for a breath or two. And then extend for a breath. Stepping forward. Last time, coming onto the ball of the left foot. We're shifting that weight into the right leg, lifting the left foot, the left knee, holding for a breath or two. And you'll notice that your ankle is trying to compensate. That's okay. It's going to start wiggling, trying to help you balance. Extend that left foot out. And step forward. So now we're at the top of the mat. We're just gonna do a little bit of a sun salutation to get back to the back of the mat, and then we're gonna go into our second balance. So standing in mountain pose. Inhale as you bring the arms out and up. Exhale as you come forward and down, bending at the hips, and then bringing the hands down to the mat. Forward fold. Inhale as you come into a half forward fold. So your hands can be beside your shins, upper body parallel to the floor. And then exhale, bring the hands back down to the mat into a forward fold. And then bringing the fingertips down, step the right foot back into a lunge. Bring the hands down, step the left foot back into a plank. You can come down to your knees, and then we're lowering all the way down to the mat. Tops of the feet are down. Hands are beside your chest. We're just going to come into 3 rounds of Cobra. So inhale as you lift the upper body up. You can come up as far as you want. And exhale as you come down. Inhale as you lift up. Keeping the chest open, shoulders down away from your ears. Exhale as you come down. Last time, inhale as you lift up. Exhale as you come down. And then tucking the toes under, we're pressing up through plank and back to downward facing dog. You can adjust here. Again, reaching the heels down towards the mat. Take a full breath. And then start to walk the hands back towards your feet, coming into a forward fold at the back of the mat. And then inhale, come into a half forward fold. So again, hands can be beside your shins, upper body parallel to the floor. Exhale, bringing the hands back down to the mat. Inhale as you bend the knees, bring the arms out and up, standing all the way up. Exhale, arms down by your side. So we're at the back of the mat again. This time, we're gonna get our blocks, or wherever you're using for your blocks, just grab them. So we're gonna practice a little bit of pyramid pose, and blocks are optional for this, but it helps me as I go into this pose. So we'll stand in mountain pose to start. Blocks are in your hands. And then inhale as you reach the arms up with the blocks. And then exhale as you come forward and down. So we're kind of in a half forward fold right here. Hands are directly underneath your shoulders. And then we're gonna keep that left foot down on the mat. And then reach that right leg back behind you. It's hard to see me doing this on this screen. but just keeping that right foot behind you. Your right toes are facing down towards the mat or the floor, and your right hip is also facing down. So you're not opening that hip, you're bringing that hip down and keeping it level with the left. So this is our supported warrior 3. And then you're gonna bring this right foot in between your blocks. So right to the inside of that right block is where your right foot is going. And then try to keep both legs straight with a little micro bend in the knee. Keeping your spine straight. So this is our pyramid pose. This is a calf and hamstring stretch. So you'll probably feel it in both legs, more so the back leg. And then you're gonna bring that left foot in to meet the right. And then you're gonna bend the knees, bring the blocks up. If you're holding something that's a little weird, just have it this way with the bottom down. So if you have a bottle or something you're holding underneath your hand, you can do this. So we're kind of in a chair pose right now. And then stand all the way up. And exhale, bringing your arms down. So we're gonna do that again on the left side. So inhale as you bring the arms up. Exhale as you bring them forward and down, right in front of you. And then keeping the right foot down, lifting the left leg back behind you. So keeping the left hip in line with the right, having that hip facing down, and the left toes are facing down as well. Coming back to our warrior 3, keeping the spine straight. And then bringing that left foot in between your blocks. Keeping both legs straight here. You may think about drawing that left hip back a little bit, just so that your hips are facing forward. Spine is still straight, reaching through the crown of your head. Pyramid pose. And then we're stepping that right foot forward between the blocks. We're gonna bend the knees and then bring the arms up, coming to our chair pose. And then inhale, standing all the way up. Exhale down. All right, 2 more times, one on each side. So inhale as you bring the arms up. Exhale as you come forward and down. Again, having the wrist underneath the shoulders. And then we're shifting the weight to the left foot this time, lifting the right foot back behind you. So keeping the spine straight, right toes are facing down, right hip is facing down. And breathe. And then start to bring that right foot in between the blocks. Think about straightening both the right leg and the left. Drawing the right hip back just a little bit to keep the hips facing forward. And then stepping the left foot up to meet the right, in between the blocks. We're gonna bend the knees, bringing the arms up to our chair pose. Inhale as you stand all the way up. Exhale, arms down. And just for me to stay on the mat, I'm just going to move back a little bit. So this is our last round. So we'll inhale, bringing the arms up. Exhale as you hinge at the hips, bending forward and down. Coming to our half forward fold, kind of. And then keeping the right foot planted down, lifting the left leg up, keeping that hip level with the right. Left toes are facing down. And drawing that right hip back just a little bit. And then bringing that left foot in between the blocks. Keeping both legs kind of straight here. You might have a micro bend in the knee. Keeping the spine straight. And then bringing the right foot up to meet the left. Bend the knees, reaching the arms up to chair pose. Inhale as you stand all the way up. Exhale, arms down by your side. So we're going to put our blocks off to the side, or wherever you were using for your blocks. You put them off to the side. We're going back to our Sun Salutation to get back to the back of the mat. So we'll inhale, reaching the arms out and up. Exhale as you come forward and down. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. Then planting the fingertips, step the left foot back. Plant the hands, step the right foot back. You can lower to your knees. And then we're coming down to the belly. Tops of the feet are down. 3 rounds of Cobra, one last time. Inhale as you rise, lifting the chest. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale down. Last time, inhale. And exhale down. Tuck the toes under. We're pressing up through plank, back to downward facing dog. And readjust here, reaching the heels down towards the mat. Full breath. And then walking the hands back into a forward fold. Just hang out here. You can let the upper body sway. And coming back to the middle. And then we'll start to walk the hands back forward like we're coming to a plank. Or we're just coming to a downward facing dog. Hold for a breath. And then we're going to bring the knees down to the mat. Bring the tops of the feet down. Walk the hands back. And just sit on the heels. Lift the shoulders up and back. Sitting tall, reaching up through the crown of the head. We're going to end with 3 breaths. Inhale. Open the mouth, exhale. Inhale. Open the mouth, exhale. Last time, inhale. Open the mouth and exhale. And then you can stay here if it feels good on the ankles, or you can come to a seated position. Either one is fine. And just start to ground your hips into your mat. Tilt your pelvis forward as you sit tall. Lift the shoulders up and back. Hands can rest on your knees, tops of the thighs, and you can have palms down or palms up. And just close your eyes for a second. Take a moment to check in with yourself. Notice how you feel in this moment. Notice how your body feels in this moment. And acknowledge any thoughts that are going through your mind. So you're not trying to change them, not trying to expand on those thoughts, just noticing and acknowledging them. And as we remain here, I'll end with the sound of the singing bowl. So feel free to keep your eyes closed. Bring your hands in front of your heart. You can bow your head to your heart. Just bow in gratitude for this quick practice, this quick minute away from everything. May we all feel refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to take on the rest of the day.